Discover self-healing using the potential of your own body. International Yoga Day 2021.
Yoga is giving us not only the physical strength, but also mental balance and emotional stability to confidently negotiate the challenges before us.
Greetings to all yoga enthusiasts all over the world. Yoga is not just a set of exercises, it is a path of self-discipline based on an extremely subtle science which focuses on bringing harmony between mind and body.
Yoga is the perfect health and wellness module as it is comprehensive and holistic in its nature. Yogic principles of wellness help to strengthen and develop positive health, enabling the individuals to withstand stress and its consequences better.
Yoga has multiple solutions. Solutions to prevent diseases, solutions to recover quickly, solutions to get over anxiety and stress related issues.
Yoga is essentially a spiritual discipline. It's an art and science of healthy living. Yoga brings harmony between mind and body, man and nature. The ultimate aim of yoga sadhana is to overcome all kinds of suffering, leading to a sense of freedom.
We live in an age of instant gratification, where consumerism reigns supreme and modern life has been reduced to the rat race, spent chasing one deadline after another. The perils of such a life is losing the very essence of living itself, to know thyself. Yoga is the most precious gift bestowed upon mankind by the ancient Indian sages. A state of equilibrium and equanimity.
Namaskar. Hello and welcome to a special series on yoga, an all-pervasive and yet somehow mysterious term bandied about. In this series leading up to the International Day of Yoga, we'll try and understand various aspects of yoga, its meaning and significance, its history and rich tradition, its benefits and uses, and its very special role in enriching our lives. In today's edition, our focus is on its history and development.
First and foremost question is, what is yoga? Essentially a spiritual discipline. It is based on an extremely subtle science whose primary focus is bringing about a harmony between mind and body. It is both an art as well as science for healthy living. The word yoga is derived from the Sanskrit root yuja, which means to join, to yog or to unite. According to the wisdom of yogic scriptures, the practice of yoga leads to the union of an individual consciousness with the universal consciousness. Modern scientists speak along similar lines when they claim that everything in the universe is just a manifestation of the same quantum firmament. To be in yoga means to experience this oneness of existence, and a yogi is someone who attains a state of freedom, referred to as mukti, nirvana, kaivalya or moksha. Yoga also refers to an inner science comprising of a variety of methods through which human beings can achieve union between body and mind to to attain self-realization. The aim of yoga practice or sadhana is to overcome all kinds of sufferings, leading to a sense of freedom in every walk of life with holistic health, happiness and harmony. The fundamentals of yoga. The uniqueness of yoga lies in the fact that it works on the level of one's body, mind, emotion and energy. This approach has given rise to the 5 broad classifications of yoga, namely Hatha Yoga, which has evolved from Tantra, Kriya Yoga, which utilizes the energy, Karma Yoga, where we utilize the body, Bhakti Yoga, where we utilize the emotion, and Jnana Yoga, where we utilize the lighter mind. Jnana Yoga is discretionary in nature and leads to the knowledge of self. Each and every system of yoga in practice today falls within the gamut of one or more of these categories.
To draw an analogy, every individual is a unique combination of these 5 factors that are Hatha Yoga, Kriya Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Only a guru or a teacher can advocate the appropriate combination of the 5 fundamental paths as it is necessary for each seeker. Right from the pre-Vedic times, all ancient commentaries and treatises on yoga have stressed on the fact that it is of supreme importance to work under the direction of a guru or a teacher. It only makes sense to learn from the knowledge and experience accumulated over a period of time rather than doing it all alone.
Traditional schools of yoga. As we mentioned earlier, yoga is both an art and a science, combining the best of both disciplines to enrich our lives. As with any other human endeavor, the different philosophies, traditions, lineages and Guru-Shishya Paramparas of yoga led to the emergence of different traditional schools. These include Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Patanjala Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Mantra Yoga, Laya Yoga, Raja Yoga, Jaina Yoga, Buddha Yoga, etc. Needless to say, each school has its own unique approach and associated practices that lead to the ultimate aim and objectives of yoga. Yoga education.
Traditionally, yoga education was imparted by intelligent, well-informed, experienced and sagacious people in families compared with the education imparted in convents in Western societies. Progressing further, it was taught by seers or rishi, munis in ashrams, not unlike the system prevalent in monasteries. Yoga education aimed at taking care of the individual, the being. It is assumed with good reason that a balanced, transparent and truthful person will be more useful not just to oneself but to his family, society, nation, nature and humanity at large.
Yoga education is being oriented. Details of working with the being oriented aspect has been outlined in various living traditions and texts. And the method contributing to this important field is known as yoga. Brief history and development of yoga. The science of yoga has its origins thousands of years ago, much before the advent of first religion or belief systems took shape. The ancient philosophers, the sages and the seers carried this powerful yogic science to different corners of the world. Its footprint can be found in Asia, the Middle East, Northern Africa and South America. Interestingly, with new tools at their disposal, modern scholars have noted and marveled at the close parallels found between ancient cultures across the globe. However, it was in India that the yogic system found its fullest expression. Agastya, the revered Saptarishi who travelled across the Indian subcontinent, crafted this culture around a core yogic way of life.
Today, yoga is widely considered as an immortal cultural outcome of the Indus-Saraswati Valley civilization, which dates back to 2700 BC and has proven itself to cater to both material and spiritual upliftment of society.
Over a period of time, innumerable seals and fossil remains of Indus-Saraswati Valley civilization with yogic motifs and figures performing yoga sadhana have proven without a shred of doubt the presence of yoga in ancient India. In addition to this, the seals and idols of Mother Goddess are suggestive of Tantra Yoga. Moreover, its presence can also be found in folk traditions, Vedic and Upanishadic heritage, Buddhist and Jain traditions, darshanas, epics of Mahabharata and Ramayana, in Bhagavad Gita, theistic traditions of Shaivas, Vaishnavas and Tantric traditions. Though yoga has been in practice since pre-Vedic times, it took the meticulous and tireless efforts of great sage Maharshi Patanjali to systemize and codify the then existing yogic practices are Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. Its meaning and its related knowledge through his seminal work Yoga Sutra. It is only inevitable that all human endeavor is ravished and laid to waste by the passage of time. Yoga is no exception to this rule of nature. With the passage of time, the science of yoga also got lost. The cycle of life continues, and with it continues the story of regeneration, of being born again.
In the present day and age, yoga has been adopted as a way of life by one and all, ranging from our sages residing in the great Himalayas to the celebrities of Tinsel Town, from the all-powerful politicians to the common man on the streets. It has bridged the cultural divides and brought people closer.
The 4 divine books or scriptures, called the Vedas, are revelations of sacred sounds heard by ancient sages after a period of intense meditation. Each Veda has 4 subdivisions: the Samhitas, that is mantras and benedictions; the Aranyakas, that is texts on rituals, ceremonies, sacrifices and symbolic sacrifices; the Brahmanas, that is commentaries on rituals, ceremonies and sacrifices; and the Upanishads, that is texts discussing meditation, philosophy and ancient knowledge. Sanhita or Samhita literally means put together. They are methodically rule-based combinations of verses and form the most ancient layer of text in the Vedas. Yogic Samhitas cover a vast timeline, ranging from Shiv Sanhita by Adinath Bhagwan Shiva at the dawn of civilization through Ashtavakra Gita and Yoga Yagyavalka Samhita to Ghiranda Sanhita and Goraksha Sanhita cover this space, most recent of which Goraksha Sanhita bears as if it were written yesterday. Broadly speaking, they are texts of Hatha Yoga. Upanishads are seemingly the last of appendices of Vedas. Western scholars place the oldest among Upanishads, Brihad Aranyak and Chandogya, around 7th to 6th centuries BC. On the contrary, Bhagavad Gita, considered to be the essence of all Upanishads as per traditional Indian calculations, was recited by Bhagwan Krishna around 5000 years ago, that is approximately 3000 BC. The undersea archaeological excavations of Sri Krishna's city Dwarka dates it from 27,000 BC to 3000 BC. Upanishads cover all aspects of yoga, namely Hatha, Raja, Karma and Jnana Yoga. They cover both its philosophy as well as practice. As per tradition, it was Vyasa the sage who composed the Upanishads. Bhakti Yoga seems to have never faded and has continued to guide and illuminate our lives. From the omnipresent and immortal Narad Muni through Shandilya Muni Hanumanji, Adi Shankaracharya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to more recent Ramakrishna Paramhans, Bhakta Yogis have always guided the society. Their contribution to the society at large is incalculable, and our lives are richer and better by their guidance and presence even today in the form of Bhakti Yoga. While Karma and Jnana Yoga culminate in Bhakti, Hatha Yoga starts with Bhakti, Guru Bhakti to be precise.
Adi Shankaracharya clearly state that one capable of giving an experience of samadhi by the touch, spoken word or even a mere thought is called Guru. He further clarified importance of Guru and Guru Bhakti in Yoga. Shankaracharya state every position or achievement is useless if the individual mind has no love for the feet of such a Guru.
There seems to be a glaring misconception about Bhakti Yoga, that it is only for highly emotional beings, the sissy types, as critics say. Contrary to this perception, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the mighty armed spiritual master who was also a great warrior, has written an entire book, Chandi Diwar, in Bhakti, busting a few myths along the way. Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga are intertwined. External practices of Hatha Yoga are targeted at Samadhi, also called Raja Yoga. Hence, if one doesn't practice Samadhi, practicing Hatha Yoga becomes aimless, rendering it futile. On the other hand, practicing Samadhi for a sustained duration needs to utilize Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga not only improves blood circulation in relaxing muscles, but to the rest of the body and the head as well, respectively making the body and brain more suitable for Samadhi. It also stabilizes the breath and hence the mind, the thought process, which is an essential requirement for Samadhi. Karma and Jnana Yoga are intertwined. Karma Yoga is doing of karma with a sense of duty, without any expectation of a result or benefit in return. There is no particular inclination towards sweet or aversion towards a sour result. It is a position of detachment and indifference. Jnana Yoga, on the other hand, is dissolution of the sense of being the doer. Jnani thinks of himself as an instrument of the Almighty. Practicing one of the either two aspects establishes the other as well, as the thought perceptions are intertwined and bound together. As the thought perceptions are intertwined and bound together, they are essentially inseparable and viewed as a whole and not in isolation.
Like everything else in life, yoga also has been undergoing the cyclic evolution and devolution with the passage of time. In the age of Ramayana, people had enormous capabilities which indicate towards Ashtasiddhis of yoga. Then came the revelation of Yoga Vasishtha, the philosophy, the theory.
During Mahabharata, Duryodhan hid underwater using the power of pranayama. To the amazement of modern age belief system, people even knew the art of death. Dhritarashtra, Gandhari and Kunti left their bodies by the yogic method Yoga Vidhi. In such an era, Bhagwan Krishna explained to Arjun the philosophy of yoga while saying very few shlokas on Hatha Yoga.
3 millennia later, Shankaracharya had to retell the philosophy. A millennia or more later, Swami Dayananda had to write books on practical aspects of yoga, pranayam, dhyan and other practical aspects. Then Swami Vivekananda had to retell the philosophy again. And then again came many gurus who carried the torch of knowledge forward. Hatha Yoga. It seems when philosophy, that is Jnana and Karma Yoga, or practical Hatha and Raja Yoga is reintroduced, the other aspect is gradually forgotten and demands reintroduction. It becomes cyclic in nature. When one goes up, the other comes down, and vice versa. It has been an ongoing and ever-evolving process since then, with many sages and yoga masters contributing immensely to the preservation and development of the field through their well-documented practices and literature. Prime Minister Narendra Modi played a pivotal role in the declaration of 21st June as the International Day of Yoga by the United Nations General Assembly, when he addressed the 69th session of UNGA on 27th September 2014.
योग हमारी पुरातन पारंपरिक अमूल्य देन है। योग मन व शरीर, विचार व कर्म, संयम व उपलब्धि की एकात्मता का तथा मानव व प्रकृति के बीच सामंजस्य का मूर्त रूप है। यह स्वास्थ्य व कल्याण का समग्र दृष्टिकोण है। योग केवल व्यायाम भर न होकर अपने आप से तथा विश्व व प्रकृति के साथ तादात्म्य को प्राप्त करने का माध्यम है। यह हमारी जीवन शैली में परिवर्तन लाकर तथा हम में जागरूकता उत्पन्न करके जलवायु परिवर्तन से लड़ने में सहायक हो सकता है। आइए हम एक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस को आरंभ करने की दिशा में कार्य करें।
As a result of his exhortation, on December 11, 2014, UNGA approved the proposal by consensus with a record 177 co-sponsoring countries adopting a resolution to establish 21st June as International Day of Yoga. Closer home, Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga, the premier institute for planning, training, promotion and coordination of yoga education, therapy and research in all its aspects, is working towards promoting a deeper understanding of yoga philosophy and practices based on classical yoga amongst people. Guided by their mission of health, harmony and happiness for all through yoga, they have been working tirelessly to achieve their goal. As a result of these invaluable contributions, yoga has spread all over the world. From the ancient masters to the present-day practitioners of the discipline, today everyone is convinced of its efficacy towards prevention of diseases and, more importantly, promotion of holistic health and living.
It goes without saying that yoga has benefited millions of its practitioners across the globe, and today it is rapidly blossoming and growing more vibrant and dynamic with each passing day. Yoga is the need of the hour today, like it has always been, and it will always be. It revitalizes and invigorates both the participants and the spectators. May this International Yoga Day bring more health, harmony, peace and happiness in your life. Stay safe, and I'll see you same time tomorrow with another enlightening episode of our series on Yoga. Namaskar.